republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please join me in a short prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask for your guidance as we get through our agenda and ask you to help us do what is in the best interest of those we serve. As we're coming towards the end of the year, we ask you to help us remember that we are standing on the shoulders of a lot of folks from the past, on the shoulders of a lot of volunteers in Seneca County, and a lot of history that we've had here. We thank you for allowing us to assume the responsibilities that we have now, and we ask that your guidance in the future in carrying the torch forward. We ask in a special way, as always, that you protect all those who are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Amen. Very nice. Thank you. So this time I'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording of our previous board session on Thursday, November 10th, 2022.
I need to do a roll call.
So move.
I did this last time. So, okay, I'll second the motion to approve the minutes. We'll put that on hold. We'll do a roll call. Sorry, Kylie.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Present.
Commissioner Schuff,
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner.
I am here as well.
Okay. Now we do the same thing for the
You're the
minutes,
split
right?
vote, Mike.
Okay.
Who motioned?
We have a motion of Commissioner Kirschner, second from me, to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Thank
Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
you. Yes. Thank you. So we'll jump in real quick to commissioner reports, and then we'll go to Emily. Okay, Emily? Hang in there a minute. Commissioner Schuff.
Yeah, short report here today. We had the Veteran of the Year thing out in Adams Township. We're a little south of Green Springs last week. It's nice to be able to honor Greg Cole here as the Veteran of the Year. A lot of great folks out there, very nice meal, and just very humbling experience. There was a lot of representation from the state and local levels. A lot of proclamations and a lot of nice words said about Mr. Cole, so it's very humbling to be there. And then had some meetings here, going over the facade program again this week as we go through those applications and get ready to set up our first official meeting with the group. So just plugging away at that.
Your envelope made it to the veteran that was presented. So,
Yeah, I
very nice.
I wrote the guy a letter.
Really
when
nice.
he's gonna be here,
She
yeah.
presented that to the veterans.
Good.
You can feel good
Good,
about
good.
that. I know you've never missed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're up.
Just continue to, I know the staff is working very hard in getting the budget presented. That will be next Tuesday. That certainly is a major item. I was happy to see what the election results in Seneca County. And again, I know that we did this last week, but to congratulate the Board of Elections and also for Jimmy's help hanging in there and showing the results. I was online watching what was going on. That's always great to have. So
Yeah.
kudos to the Board of Elections again, and did a great job.
Just went to the Bloom Township trustee meeting. It was nice to get out there this week. And I just want to bring up a potential resolution that I'd like to discuss next Tuesday. So we've had, there's been meetings with Ottawa County, Mark Stahl, Commissioner Stahl, and Sheriff Dvorak, Seneca County, Commissioner Zimmerman, and Sheriff Hilton, and Sandusky County, and Seneca County, myself, and Sheriff Stevens. And we've talked to Meerschut Mental Health, so the conversation is the potential, and this could be opened up to other surrounding counties, Wood, Huron, are possibilities, of maybe a mental health jail of some sort, or a facility of some sort, a regional facility. This is gaining traction because and we'll have Sheriff Stevens talk about this, possibly in the future. But many of the inmates have mental health issues, and are causing stress within the jails and the system, and there's really no place to take them. So the concept is maybe we could do a regional facility for mental health only, and then the funding of this could occur through some mental health money, and we're talking throughout the state. So it's more maybe of a pilot. It's a concept at this point. Commissioner Stahl's leading this out of Ottawa County. I'm going to bring a resolution and further discussion next week to look at allocating some county funds to help with this initial study. Again, it would be specifically for mental health and not for anything to do with our jail. It would be a regional mental health facility which would take stress off all the jails. So,
Who would be leading the study?
actually, there's been conversation with the Director of Corrections at the state level, and they're open to it, and some other people, the CCAO. When we were in Fremont at the Holiday, we met with Cheryl, president of CCAO, and this is gaining traction. Because mental health's obviously a big issue in the state. So I'll have more to report next week. I just want to kind of get that out there. So I guess that's it. Any other comments, commissioners? We're good? We'll move on. Emily, you want to come up? Floor is yours, please.
Sure.
Introduce yourself, and gotten to know you a little bit through 4-H and the fair and junior fair, and we're really glad you're here. So
Thank you, and I am very glad to be here as well. Seneca County is a great place to be right now. Just a lot of excitement, lots of things happening downtown, out in the other county villages. We're pretty excited that for the next 4 weekends, plus December 22nd and 23rd, we are lighting up the fairgrounds and offering a drive-through experience for a donation of $5 a car. I am the Junior Fair Board Coordinator of Seneca County, and my Junior Fair Board that has 42 members, we've facilitated this event. As of this morning, we have 62 different displays that have been put up by families, 4-H clubs, FFA chapters, local businesses, you name it. And really they're spread out all over the county. I'm very proud of that. If they all light up this afternoon at 5:15, I'll be even happier, but that's all fixable. We are anticipating just a very nice experience for anybody that comes. It's about a 20.5-minute drive through the grounds. You come in gate 2, what we affectionately call up the chute, which runs along the cattle barn, and then our volunteers will direct you how to get through the path, and then we exit out of gate 1. The proceeds from the donations, after the electric bill is paid, and Junior Fair gets a little something for us maintaining this and setting everything up, all the proceeds will go to our new small animal pavilion that we are planning on building in 2023 to be available for the fair in 2024. Currently, we're planning to have a demo party the first week in August that will take down the current goat barn and the current rabbit and poultry barn, and from that point go to the drive next to our super barn. And this will house the goats, the chickens, and the rabbits, and eventually possibly the sale office, the livestock sale office. So I'm a firm believer in you need to take ownership of these projects. So this was an event, the Seneca County Family Fair Lights is an event where our county got involved, our clubs got involved. We have volunteers from Kiwanis, the Tiffin Foundation, any business that put in a display. They're coming out over the weekends, and I believe Mr. Paradiso and Mr. Frankert said they would come out and help some evenings. So we're excited.
Do they have food there?
On certain nights.
Okay, that's the night I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Mr. Jordan will be cutting the ribbon. He has been a longtime supporter of Junior Fair, and he's retiring from one of his positions with the Tiffin Foundation. So he will cut the ribbon, and the first car will be on the way. We start at 6 every night on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and the last car through will be at 10. We will have certain giveaways certain nights. December 11th is our royalty night. We've invited royalty from all across the fair, royalty from all across the state of Ohio to come wear their crowns and their sashes, and we probably have some little tiaras and crowns for our little visitors that night. But we have things that those young people will be giving away. I just thank you for allowing us to do this. I know we met back in September, tried to figure out when we go to Upper Sandusky and their lights, they're lined up on the street. And where our fair is located, that is not a good situation. So we will be having you come in gate 2, and hopefully all of our overflow cars waiting to get in will be in the fair parking lot, not on the street. So thank you, and thanks for having me. Any
Emily,
questions?
Is this the first year you've had a light display?
Yes,
Okay.
it is the very first year. And darkness is our friend. I have learned a lot in the last 3 weeks.
Excellent.
Well, luckily it comes at 5 o'clock now, so
Yeah.
for you.
Yes, yes.
You know, what you're doing with the Junior Fair Board, those kids that benefit from that building, I know that was a big motive with you to have them
Yes.
give back and contribute some of their time so that future
Yes.
kids, you know, will appreciate that. You know,
I'm very
you do a
proud
great job with those
to
kids.
say, we even had some exhibitors, when they sold their animal this year, gave back some money towards this building. I'm gonna use my husband as an example. When they put concrete in the hog barn, the current hog barn, when he was an exhibitor, he gave $5 to concrete his pen. Now, that would get a small corner of the pen in this day and age, but, you know, I think that motivated him to be a good volunteer, to want to help give back and to encourage our children to do that. So I think it's all building blocks, and hopefully this is a good broad one, and we have them many years to come.
Okay, thank you. Any
Okay.
questions, anybody?
Thank you.
Emily.
Good.
Thank you for your hard work.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Have a great
thanks, Emily.
day. We'll
Yeah.
see you in the next couple
God bless
weekends.
you. Awesome. Okay. So, you,
Okay.
right?
Yep, I just wanted to bring up a few things. Again, we had the leases that we talked about, some of the lease requests from the parks and the health district. The parks would like us to kind of waive that fee for this coming year of 2023, to be given that donor support recognition, so that they could use that $10,000 towards the building of their new building. So I just want to bring that up for you guys to further discuss as we contract, or the lease ends at the end of this year, so I'd like to start working on that. So just want to go ahead and,
What do they pay us now?
$10,000. Well, currently they've done renovations, So they haven't, correct? They haven't made a payment. I think this year is the first time that they have made that
Kind of like the
payment.
regional planning did, they did all the repairs and we waived it.
Yeah, and I think this was the first year that they made a payment in, I think, January and July, if I'm not,
And
I
they,
believe.
they in effect saying they're gonna move out.
They have not given me an effective date, but they would like to do a year-to-year lease. I know they've run into some issues with the building or the project that they're doing. So they didn't want to give an exact date, but they just want to do a one-year lease for 2023. So,
Thoughts, Commissioner? Yield to the senior statesman?
Well,
Wisdom.
it probably won't be very popular, but,
called
so
wisdom.
we're asking for, so the request is for us to waive $10,000 in fees to the general fund, so that, we can no longer have the lease.
yeah,
That's
they would
the
like
ultimate goal,
the,
so we can get rid of the lease finally with them. I have mixed feelings because we have a levy, right, that the population pays for, that has been passed for the Park District. And we have been extremely fair with them as it relates to the cost of that building in the past. We haven't not applied the, the cost allocation that we typically do for a lot of them. I don't, in theory, I don't have any problem with making a donation to a new building, but it just seems a little bit strange to me that we're asked to make a $10,000 donation so that we will no longer have any lease coming in on that building. So we're paying for ourselves to have less occupancy. Again, the voters have spoken and they have approved a park levy, and there's significant money, carryover, et cetera, in that park account, Seneca County Parks. So, I mean, I'm not sure it's an item for discussion. Again, I'm sure what I said isn't very popular, so.
No, that's good. Good comments?
Kind of thinking a lot of the things that Commissioner Kirschner's thinking. Do we have to decide this meeting, or can we?
you don't, but I would like to, I mean, if you say, why don't you go back and say we're interested in collecting the 10,000, I'd like to have further conversation with them so that I can get this lease in place for next year. I'd like to kind of wrap it up. I'm fine with having the conversation that,
Yeah, I guess
Should
that
we
I
meet him in
think
the middle?
that-
Should we meet him in the middle somewhere?
I don't know, I mean, I guess that I'd rather have a couple of park board members come in so we can look at them face to face and
think that's
discuss what their
reasonable.
plans are. I don't want to just give an a no,
It's a good idea.
but I do have
That's not
reservations
bad,
about,
actually. Yeah, let's invite him in.
Okay. Do you want to do the same with Ann then? She's asking for a modification to the definition of the premises being leased due to the construction of the CSB building. And again, her lease ends at the end of this year as well. So I'm thinking she's looking for a decrease in cost. I just want to bring something up. We do now have a cleaning service over there. So the housekeepers, the one housekeeper that was over there has retired. We're bringing in clean team to a good, starting December and January, for the majority of pretty much all of the buildings except for a few. We'll have now clean team, so that is a pretty decent cost.
I might as well continue to be unpopular. So we're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars in a building, and the person leasing the building wants to decrease the rent. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my opinion. It's gonna be a nice build. So,
It is.
let me ask you this, so their lease is expiring, and then when we go in, are we gonna, what's the lease, 3 years, 5 years? We're gonna go into another lease?
This one is, they have a 3-year lease.
So where are we at with that building now? $700,000-800,000 more?
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm working with the company right now. There's another change order, significant, another $16, $13, and $6,000 change order coming through again with the issues that we talked about with the window, but that's the cost. The wiring and the door, that was the cost,
So I think when we do a lease, so let me, correct me if I'm wrong, help me out if I'm, because I wasn't around, but we basically, when we calculate a lease, we do a cost
Allocation.
allocation. So, case in point, Commissioner Kirchner, if we put 200,000 of improvements in the building, and then we go back and we renew the lease, we don't say, we put in a handicap entrance, we did all these things, so your rent's going up.
Well, I
Really
think
what
that's,
we
I mean,
do
that's
is-
up to the company that does the cost
Yeah,
allocation as to
Maximus
what
does
the
that.
value of that is.
But what we
But-
do is, it's usually utilities and square footage and.
It goes
isn't
off
that
the
what it
square
is?
footage, yeah.
That's a question, is that taken?
Yeah, I mean,
All of
but
that's
it's-
taken into play when they do the cost allocation.
But it is a hit and miss. We don't always use that cost allocation number.
So a
you know,
third party
and-
does the cost
Yeah, in
allocation?
the case of the Park District, I mean, from a standpoint of history, they didn't have any levy, right? A
Yeah.
few years ago.
Can you see?
And that was all volunteer donations, and they all worked hard. Again, you know, the volunteerism end of things. And now we're in a situation where the voters have agreed that they will fund the Park District. So, I mean, we've got to consider the fact that that lease money goes into the general fund for funding the entire county's operations. You know, part of that funding comes from the leases that the money from the leases that we get by leasing our buildings out. So to give that up, I'm not sure is fair to the rest of the county.
Are there gonna be others lining up wanting the same thing?
Yeah, and if, you know, I mean, again, that's why I'd like to, I've gone back to that, that's why I like to talk to those guys, to see how much,
Precedent, yeah.
how much reserves they have, what's their cash flow look like. But the last financial I looked at from the Park District certainly looked like they had more than sufficient cash flow to pay for daily operations.
But I can tell you just from a rental standpoint, whether it be residential, commercial, whatever, prices are not going down right now in the private sector, so.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I don't think we helped you out very well.
That's
but,
okay. I'll have the park, I'll reach out to Parks.
Yeah, there's not an appetite here to waive both of them, for sure. I can tell, I
Okay.
can sense that. Yeah, I would not vote to.
There may be more to the story that, you know, that we're not aware
Okay.
of, but on the surface, that's where I'm coming from.
Sounds good.
So,
Let's park this one for now.
yeah.
I hear the can going down the road.
Oh, we can bring it up next week, right?
Yeah, so
Get it
I'm gonna
done
hope
next
to get them
Tuesday.
in on Tuesday so that we
Yeah.
can get this, so that I can
Perfect.
have time to
Yep.
get this
That's fine.
squared away
You
in
bring Ann
December,
in
so.
too?
Yeah,
Just might as
I'll
well bring
reach
them
out to
both in
Ian as well as
listen to them.
Sarah at the Parks.
Have we decreased Ann's square footage? Have we?
No, I think so she made mention that conference room A is being utilized, I think, I believe it's a noise issue on why they can't use the conference room A right now, because again, they're pretty much just banging on that wall.
Yeah.
All day long, so that is a conference room that they utilize, quite often. But that was the main thing that she mentioned in here.
There's the one in the basement they could
They've
use.
had to adjust, no
Changes
question.
in the use of common space, example, conference room A in the
Temporary
basement.
use.
Do we
This
have
would
an
be-
estimated completion date of that project?
We do not yet, I do not have an updated one, no, I think, every day they.
Yeah, but I mean, it was originally gonna be like spring, right?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be, I think, in December originally, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
gonna be
pushed back
June,
significantly,
probably. It'll be
yeah.
June. 6 months, I'd say, into next year.
And I don't know what the new issues, what kind of deadline that pushed that back, so I'll have more information
So
on that.
just to narrow this down, kind of what everybody's saying, this would be for the period of time till, is this several months until she's open full
No,
go?
I believe she's
Or is this
asking
forever?
for, well, modification of the lease. So we would look to sign a new lease, 3-year lease with her, beginning in 2023. So I don't know if she's looking to have that reduced cost in 2023 for that,
Alright.
and then increase it again. I'm not positive, so I'll bring her in on Tuesday if she can make it.
Do we have any other, I apologize for not knowing this, but how much, if any, do we fund the health department on a county level? Or does that all come from the state?
Yeah, I think that's all they're self-funded for that, a call
Okay.
from the state.
So part of their
General
budget, when they
fund.
go, part of their budget process, when they go to the state, they talk about what their lease costs are.
Yeah, probably.
I will say this, we, in the health insurance committee that you're a part of, you've been on. So the county, the health department's on the county
Health insurance.
Health insurance, thank you. Boy, that was, the health department's on the county health insurance.
Oh,
Okay, that was good. And as we sat around the table and we discussed HSA contributions and employee participation and all of that, you know, I sensed with Ann, I thought she did a nice job, you know, that they were tight on funds and whatever. So whatever we decided as the county commissioners, that's what they had to do. So they have to do whatever we decide. Is that a fair statement? So, you know, there was some input there. So I do think we'll let her come in. I'm not sure they have the funding that maybe some other departments have. But we'll let her
What's
talk
their
about
total
it.
rent again? Ballpark.
Still our money, though. It's the county's.
I think they pay around 112. So they, yeah, no, so they pay 40,000.
For the year?
Just for the clarification for public, who pays utilities?
Ooh,
now-
Kylie, do you know, have that answer? Is it John?
We pay.
Does John pay the utilities for the
And
CSB?
cleaning, I know we pay
I bet that's
cleaning.
not, I bet it's not, I bet it's
I don't know,
not
how many-
split up.
All right, so
think
all
we
that
do.
stuff then would go on the cost allocation though.
That's
How
right.
many square feet is that building, do you know?
Off the top of my head, let me see, I
Can of
know.
worms.
No, it's
I
good.
know,
though. It's
these
good
are killing me.
conversation.
Let me see if I can find it in the.
But that 40, they're just paying us back for utilities and cleaning and just cost. We take care of the buildings.
I don't have the whole lease with me, so.
Okay, but I mean, I refer
I
that
can
to
get that.
Tyler, but I gotta believe that building is more than 3,000 square feet.
Oh, here we go,
A lot
11,225.
more, okay. So, you know, Tyler, a commercial building at 11,000 square feet, I'm not sure what the square footage cost would be, but it's gotta be above 10. And that would dictate $110,000 a year. And I would guess it's probably closer to 12 in this environment, on a typical commercial lease on a downtown building.
Yeah, since we're going into a new
Yeah,
lease,
yeah,
we should look at the cost out.
Well, as Commissioner Paradiso said, we're absorbing the utilities in that building?
I don't believe
Yes,
so.
that is correct.
We are?
Well, it's
Yes.
probably cost allocated back to them, correct? We have cost allocation.
That's what I was
They don't pay cost
They don't pay
allocation.
cost
They don't.
allocation, we can't do that
So
with
we are
them.
That's
observing.
part of the $40,000.
Because it's the health department, yeah, so we have to
The fact-
separate the tenant.
The fact
from the
is
conversation.
that maybe the costs are at least $40,000. We think about 11,000 square foot building, heat, water, sewer.
The citizens contribute that building to the health department. If that roof went bad tomorrow, we would fix it, and we would not pass that cost on to the health department. That would come out of the county. So,
You know, you can be kind and you can
I want to unpack. yeah.
cooperate, but on the same token, you know, this is a business.
Is it public record how much the other health departments from county to county pay for
I could
these
probably get
leases?
some information,
gonna-
but it wouldn't be comparable.
Exactly.
Because you'd be looking at a space,
It's
so
the
it
same.
wouldn't really, I don't think it'd
Some private
help.
standalone and this and that and
I
another.
think it's a
Yeah.
healthy.
Well, except if
conversation.
you get a per square foot number,
Yeah,
we could certainly at least,
But, you know, it's not a county health department, it's a county, you know, the district advisory, like the city of Tiffin's involved, the villages are involved. It's not an apples to apples comparison. We do it
Yeah.
in a way that's a lot different than most areas. That's why it's not comparable.
yeah, that's why I say I'm not exactly sure where the funding all comes from, but I think most of it comes from the state.
I just think the unfortunate timing is, I can promise everybody, utilities are gonna go up, our insurance is gonna go up, and our cleaning bill did go up. Is that a fair statement?
Sure.
Okay, so when we redo the cost allocation for the next 3 years, you know, that's gonna be taken into consideration. So I'm, just wanna understand if there's an ask for a reprieve for a few months until we get the construction done and we get open, because they have to use maybe a few square feet, less square feet, or a couple less rooms, or what the, so we'll let Ann present her case, and then I think this is a good exercise for you being new and all of us who haven't been through one of these cost allocations.
And we're not, you know, we're not in the business
To
of
break
being,
this down.
we're not in the business of being tenants or of being
Making a profit.
leasing buildings.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens that circumstances are such that that's the way it is. The park department, for example, was just looking for some space to park, as a pun,
See, there you
for
go.
a period of time. And we happen to have some space out at the engineer's office. So that's where they ended up. It wasn't because we solicited them and said you need to be part of the county buildings. Health department has been there for a long time. So even though we're not funding the health department, by virtue of allowing a $40,000 allocation on the building that's probably costing us $100,000 a
Plus.
year, maybe more now that the repairs are being done, we are, in essence,
We'd like to see that.
certainly subsidizing it.
Yeah, and we're here to help, but it's all, we just gotta be fair. We have a lot of people that we report to.
Absolutely.
And just to make comment, they do have a
Commissioner
board
Black.
meeting tonight that she might want to get Ann, so that way she could probably discuss with the board and, you know, some option stuff with that tonight, so that way they can.
They meet.
Well, it would be one thing if we didn't have any costs attached to these buildings, right? But we do. So I think it's unfair to the public in general to subsidize government-sponsored agencies, if you will, with taxpayer money.
Okay, so I think we'll move on. In both of these discussions, we will invite the respective entities to bring their people in, and we can talk about it next week. Okay, we'll put them on the agenda, and we'll see if we can get a resolution.
Perfect.
Next.
The next thing I have is, you guys kind of mentioned on it, we're still working through the budget. We're pretty close. We should be presenting close to the final budget on Tuesday for you guys to see as a whole. And I didn't know if you wanted to discuss further the OSU. We talked about that and then said we talk further. Welcome back. I was bringing you up anyways. To see if you guys had any insight on how you wanted us to proceed with that line as far as their request. We've worked through pretty much all of the rest of the.
Yeah, I can go. I personally support fully funding that position, okay, with a little caveat. And that we would commit to it for at least a 3-year period or some number that we could agree on, 5 years or something like that, because to get a person, and for that person to always wonder if their funding's gonna be there, I don't think it's fair. You know, that said, we have talked, I'd like some input in the job description and the fit for how that person would be unique for our county. Our county has some needs. Commissioner Frankert's in the back. I think you and I talked about this, right? As far as, and we've met with TSEP, and it's everything from master gardeners, you know, the bees, the farmer's market, to a lot of agriculture kind of things. So this would be an additional 20, what is it, 2,000?
Yeah, 20,000, I think. It was
Is it
122 to
21,000?
142. Yeah, or 144. It's about 20,
Barbara, would
22.
it be 20,000 a
Yeah.
year for 5 years
Slightly over.
for that budget? So
Where
I'll rest my
do you come
case.
up with 20,000?
So we've, the full-time person is, and I'm within 1,000, 42,000 a year, full-time
Yep,
person.
41,750.
Okay.
Plus benefits.
No, so we just pay the,
Benefits are paid by state and federal extension
Yeah.
funding.
Okay,
so
So
there's
your
no
cost share is
PRS or anything.
41,750.
We pay half state.
okay, so let me back up. I'll make the statement, you correct me, okay? Good point, because what he said is what I thought. So basically, the state of Ohio, they have, the extension has a formula of full-time persons, 41.
This is it, right?
750, see it there, Jimmy? To
I
the
put this
second
there,
column. So it's actually costing you,
This is this additional, yeah?
it's costing you 70,000 to hire that person, or 75, right? They are employees of Ohio State University. You hire them, all the benefits, everything Commissioner Kirchner described, but the ask for reimbursement is that 41,750.
right?
So if you have one educator in the county, in this case, we're gonna use the 4-H educator, that cost share to you all
top's
is 31,750.
Top left.
A second educator, a third educator, a fourth educator would be
So
41,750.
we're just going with 20.
Well, we funded half, remember Hallie? We've been funding half
Yes.
Okay, well, I know we agreed.
for
to
like
that,
3 or
so-
4 years, yeah.
Okay.
And
There was
then when we went through, can we get a part-timer? You and I were we're all on the same page.
Well, we
Can we
talked about.
share?
Yeah, right.
Right,
So we're
go
talking
ahead.
three-
No, no, we
Yeah.
talked
So
about
basically, you've
numbers.
already been paying half of that 41,750, so we're asking for the other half.
And then they would just hire the full-time. Yeah. Because at first, Commissioner, when Commissioner Stacy was here and you guys added the fourth, there was a 3-year grant where
Right.
we only had to pay half. Then that came up a year ago and we weren't on, it was COVID and we just weren't on the same page, we couldn't agree.
And you know, when we hired
it.
Hallie, I think we got input from Commissioner Stacy and the community, so clearly you all would be able to have that input again on tweaking the job description. We want it to meet the community, the county's needs. When we hired Hallie, there was a focus on local foods. Of course, she really brought that expertise that she had, really did a lot of work with the farmers market, so certainly we can do that again. And make sure that the job description fit this county's needs.
Okay, back to you.
I just don't know how it fits in the budget. I mean, we had the discussions about this for a couple of years now. We were gonna try to,
We'll talk Tuesday. Are you putting it in for discussion?
We have it currently in there, just to see where that put, and
Okay.
it does fit. I mean, we can definitely keep it in there if need be. We can make adjustments elsewhere where it wouldn't fit, obviously. But as of right now, the budget that we do have, it does have that request in, just to see where it would put us.
So our portion that we're responsible for is 31 and some change, and their total pay was what, 42? So we're paying-
Jimmy, can you put that up, please?
I need to.
You said 20.
additional 20. We had
It's
20.
additional
We
20.
did 20.
They're best to answer, she'll answer your question. So in our budget currently,
This is the 2022 amount that they county funds received, 99,276. And over here in 2023, this is, I believe, the request for total personnel. Okay.
Yeah,
And then if you look down
These would be
here.
personnel costs. This would have been right around the total
sorry.
that we received, sorry.
Okay, sorry,
Down at the
122,476.
bottom.
And then what the new grand total would be,
I think that's
144,900, so.
And basically, that difference is half of that cost share.
Yes.
there you go.
So,
So
for
glad you're here, we
122.
were confused a little bit.
It is a confusing-
It's confusing, yeah.
yeah, system.
And there's no hope for any additional grants out there anywhere? Have we made any applications? Has anybody looked at it?
I know Jackie had mentioned when she was here, Dr. Wilkins, solid waste funds. Possibly could look into something like that.
I don't think it'd be a long-term commitment from her where you're going, which I would totally want to get serious about when we get into the ag building, see if Ohio State and the director can help us with some of that, you know, retrofitting a room or those kind of things, because she did offer that.
She did, yeah.
Yeah. Anything on your end?
Anything else controversial you have?
So it's in the budget.
Hold on, let
It's
me
in the
dig
budget.
in.
We're gonna talk. Well, we're not approving
You never
it,
know,
but
huh?
we're not saying no, we're trying to approve it, okay?
And again,
so-
I was just in the area, I really didn't know you were gonna bring it up
I
today.
didn't either, but
And, thought I
glad you brought it up.
would stop in. We do appreciate all the support you've given OSU Extension. We have a small but mighty staff that I think does really good things for the community, Jay. So, thank you.
Okay, back to you, county administrator.
We have it under old business as far as Safe Bell, but I was hoping we would have some contract language to me today to have a little bit more specific information. They didn't, so I plan on discussing that further with you guys on Tuesday. I should have something. They're going to basically lay out the contract, what it would be for between us and Safe Build, and then what all we would need to do moving forward from all like the townships, villages, and stuff like that. So
Did we discuss inviting the two cities to that
Yeah, well,
meeting as
we
well?
talked about that last week. Did we talk to the committee?
Yeah, they will kind of lead us through that as far as that's part of what they're developing to give to me, so showing exactly what we need to do, and they'll be a part of that conversation with them as well as we go
With
through
these
this.
both
It sounded
Fostoria
like
and
it.
Tiffin?
Mhm. So,
You good? You said everybody satisfied? I'm kinda out of it, you're running with it, right?
yeah,
As far as-
trying to,
I
yeah.
don't know what the scheduling is for the city of Tiffin, Tyler, maybe you can find out. I don't know which, I imagine Long Range Planning Committee may be the people that discuss that. but
That's
I'm not
right, that's
certain.
what we're gonna do.
So if we can find the schedule for their long-range plan, or whatever committee it is on the city, both Tiffin and Fostoria, I'd be happy to go talk to them. But I know these guys want to be involved, but I think it would be good for us to at least introduce the concept and see how much
Invite them to
interest
the next
there is.
meeting so they can hear it.
You know,
Yeah,
then
they can
we
go
say,
meet them, you guys can go meet them, whatever, yeah, one of you.
then we can let, we can let Mr. Manell know and maybe Mr. Spurgeon.
Just to help
they can be there
with
and
you,
support.
Jamie, get some grassroots out there.
Absolutely.
And, they're offering to help. Yeah. That's good, Mike, I like it. Okay, so more to come there. So next week, we will be looking at the proposed agenda.
Yep, we should have something.
And we'll look to bring in our two guests, right?
Yep.
And- Okay, new business.
Okay. I have two supplemental appropriations, one for the County Township Road Reconstruction Grant, Fund 1202, to contract projects for $1,140,301.85. And then the Justice Center Operating Fund 1244 to contract services for $50,000. That one's gonna be for utility bills for the remainder of '22. John and Allison kind of work together, and that's gonna be what they need to get us through the end of the year for the utility bills.
In the city, they do we've got some arrangement with them, right? Do they do a true up at the end or no?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
suppose
there'll be a
so.
true up at some point. Okay.
On to resolutions, I have a resolution.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Resolution authorizing Oriana House to enter into contract with Comfort Systems USA as part of getting their HVAC maintenance completed for them. I have another resolution appointing Joe Moore to the Seneca County Board of DD for a 3-year term commencing January of 2023 and expiring December of '25. Another resolution reappointing Jenny Beeston as a county prevention specialist to the Northwest Ohio Regional Prevention Council, as well as a resolution reappointing Jennifer Schumacher as a county prevention specialist to the Northwest Ohio Regional Prevention Council.
What are we preventing?
This is for the, this is the, I think it's for the children. It has to do with like children's services and the,
Okay.
let me get the actual name of it, sorry. The Northwest Ohio Regional Prevention Council is what you are putting them on. You guys assigned 2 people to that. I added that to the list, so.
Okay.
Make a motion that we accept the new business, the supplemental appropriations and resolutions as presented.
I'll second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Parkinson?
Yes. Okay, before we go to public comment, anybody else want to say anything? You good? Anyone in the room would like to speak? No? Okay.
Actually, I do have something.
Yep.
If you have livestock or cats or dogs outside, be careful because there's a lot of minks on the loose. Did you see that?
I missed
They
it.
they can travel up to 10, 15 miles a day. I mean,
That's crazy.
it's, what was it, 15,000 of them or something? Those things are
Come
mean.
on. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody let them out.
Somebody let them out. They said that there was a farmer, he had killed
That's
like
crazy.
15 of them in like a half hour.
Yeah.
They'll eat up everything. It's not good.
Could we take them one-on-one in a fight?
Are you volunteering?
I don't know, we're gonna fight 15,000.
There it
Time
is.
to make some
If
toast.
you want to talk about fighting minxes, no. If you want to come forward during the public comment, you can unmute your line now and do that. I didn't see anything in chat. I did actually want to read a message from the sheriff because he said the sheriff's
Okay.
office building has a Christmas display as well. It was a project with the work crew and work crew deputy and secretaries out here and was created with no taxpayer funds, but through donations from myself and a couple employees. It is something to see. The building at the fairgrounds, to clarify, since it was along the route. So he's also got a cool.
Yeah, if we can make sure we post Jimmy too on there, all Emily's dates, because I wrote them down.
Yeah, that'll be in our post-meeting press release, and just to clarify, that's the next 4 weekends, Friday through Sunday from 6 to 10 p.m., and also on December 22nd and December
Does the
23rd.
sheriff have hot chocolate and cookies? That's what I wanna know.
Are you hungry today?
I am actually.
You're making me hungry now.
Starting to get a little.
On the fairgrounds, January 18th tomorrow is a ribbon cutting at 6.
Fair.
I'm gonna make sure we get that there as well.
It's in our calendars.
No, we just found out about it, so we can do that. Okay, anybody else, Jimmy, on the line?
I didn't see anything in the chat. I think we're
I believe
good.
he's coming up the first. Mike Dittle. And we'll have a,
Yeah,
we'll
you're at
have a-
noon.
we'll have a meeting after our meeting to talk about next year and so forth, so that'd be good.
Just a comment, you guys have a great social media presence. I mean, have 5 counties that I oversee, and I know more about what you 3 are doing in the county than I do.
That could be a good or a bad thing.
Well, it's a good thing.
It's like 97% positive.
Good job.
Thank you for that
Hey, Bill,
comment. I really appreciate
Bill, you
that.
might want to come on the first, when Mr. Diddle's here at noon.
Yep.
You're welcome. We want pizza. And the guest pies.
Here we go with the food again. What, just order Chinese or something?
Anything really would be good. Okay, so hearing no public comment, our next meeting will be on Tuesday, the 23rd, Tuesday, the 22nd of November. Meeting adjourned.